All right, hi everybody. I'm really happy to see you in our third class finally. And today I am going to talk to you about something interesting. We're gonna learn perspective today, and I know that some of you have been wondering after our previous lesson what the perspective is and how we use it, because I didn't have a separate lesson for perspective just in order to explain all this. So today we're going to be talking about this, and I've got great news. I finally moved from my region, and I'm in the Western Ukraine right now. So I live in the West, and I love it so far. And feel free to see some pictures on my Facebook. I think you'll love it. So some materials we're going to be using for this class. First of all, this is an eraser. Then we're going to have some pencils. Just take whatever you like. We're not going to be drawing actually anything today. We're going to be learning the concept of perspective and how we can apply it to real world situations, right? So here's our pencil set, and there's our eraser, and I'm using toned gray paper. You can use any paper that you want for sketches. And today we're going to be talking about perspective. So we started talking about this last time when I explained to you the cylinder. Today we're going to be doing the same thing, but not the cylinder. I'm going to explain to you two different ways to express perspective outside. So let's just take a pencil. I'm gonna use 2B pencil, which is a soft pencil, so that you'll be able to see everything. And I'm gonna divide my paper into two parts. So the first part is gonna be like one sheet of paper, and the second one is gonna be another. So imagine this is our picture, and this is something that we're gonna draw. Imagine there's a street, and we are in the middle of it. So we're going to be watching this street from its center. Imagine we are crossing the road. In this case, we're going to use the center perspective. So there's the horizon line, and there's going to be a point in here. And this point is going to be where all the lines intersect. Imagine there's a house on the left. So we're going to draw a line like this, and then we're gonna connect this dot with this, and we're gonna continue this. So as you can see, what I'm doing right now is I'm just actually starting to build my house. Imagine there's an intersection of streets. So there's gonna be a point where this house finishes. The perpendicular lines, the vertical lines, are always gonna be parallel, right? So if they're parallel, we're gonna do this one in the same way we did this. So I'm gonna just draw one line to the top, and I'm gonna just connect it. And the distance is gonna be the same, and it is the same. Then this line is gonna be parallel to our horizon. So I'm just gonna do something like this. So as you can see, I just drew my first house. It looks like a cube, doesn't it? Now, let's do the second house, which is the same as the first one. To do this, I'm gonna just draw a line which is parallel to the horizon. And then I'm gonna put my dot anywhere I want, because now this house is gonna be the same size because we have parallel lines. So let's just put one dot in here. And let's connect it. So we have connected, those lines intersect right here. Then the tops are going to be parallel as well. So it's going to be like this. And let's draw our next lines. So here it is. From the center, I'm drawing this line. Then there's going to be a dot in here. And see, now there is a mistake. And I just want to illustrate that this is possible. So for instance, I have this line and this line not in one vertical line. So what I'm gonna do is pretty simple. I'm just gonna start with my vertical line first, and then I'm gonna just connect it with the dot. Basically, I'm gonna just erase that one more time. because I didn't have a straight line. So connecting this with that. Here we go. So this is our line, and this is actually where our point is going to be, in this house. So now what we've done is we've drawn two exactly same houses, just like we're looking at this one from another side. What's going to happen now, I'm just going to take the H pencil, the harder one, and just draw some shadows so that it's easier for you, like to understand. So I've just drawn a shadow here, and that's it. So this is going to be like some light. Okay, cool. So this is our first house, and this is our next house. What happens? So let's just erase this horizon line because we don't need it yet, and we'll be able to still see it anyways. Now, what happens if you add windows? Let's imagine you have a huge window in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just draw a line that goes into this point, the vertical line. Then I'm gonna add one dot here and try to connect it visually, and here's my window. Now any house has walls, right? And walls have their width. So I'm gonna just draw the parallel line in here and the vertical one. And then there's a dot in here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it like this visually. So you don't have to draw every line, but just make sure that you understand it. Okay, so this is our one window, I'm sorry. And then there's gonna be one more, so I'm just drawing vertical lines. I'm just prolonging them, and I'm adding one more window. Here it is. And the wall is gonna be the same width, it doesn't change. Now there's the vertical one, and there's still one here, so there's some space over here because this is over horizon, and there's some space here because this is under horizon. Now there's no space only if there's something on the line of horizon, but it's not the case in here. So those are our two windows. We have just finished that, and yeah, so that's how we did. This is our street number one. This is how perspective actually works. Now, what if you want to add the roof? Imagine you want to add it like this. I don't know, like you can do that. It's gonna be just like that. Yeah, so you just can sketch that. You don't have to draw every single line, just sketch. And here it goes. So that's our roof. This is the example number one. It is our 1 point perspective. 1 point perspective. Let's add one more window in here for me to show you how this would work. So there's going to be one more window, just like a square. And then there are going to be like some lines here. There's going to be a wall. And also this. Now there is no wall visible here because it will only be visible if it's on the right side, like here, for example. But that's not the case in here. Again, just because it goes where we don't see it. So basically it looks like this, the window, but we don't see this part. So we're gonna just erase that. That's what we see. So this is our 1 point perspective. Now, what happens if you have perspective with 2 points? Imagine a street. So there's always for every landscape, start with the horizon. It is very, very important. And what happens if you have two dots? Two dots, let's imagine the same intersection, but the angle of our house is going to be right here. Okay, I got the bad line. One sec. So I'm going to just erase that and draw a new line, which is more straight. So here we go. Yeah, I think it's better. So here's our edge of the house. So that's the corner, I should say, right? And there's dot on the top, and there's one on the bottom. And now let's just connect it and see what happens. Here we go. Here we go. And one more here. Now, The vertical lines are always parallel, so I'm just gonna add it like this. So I'm adding one more corner and another corner, I think in here. So as you can see, I have just finished my house. Let's add the roof. So it's going to be from this point to here, and then from this point to here. So that's how we have it. That's our house. And let's add the fundamental part. It's going to be fundament in here and one in here. Yeah, so you see that there's like a huge difference between what it is here and here and here. So those are not of the same size. And now let's add one window. So as usual, the vertical lines are parallel. Add a horizontal, vertical again parallel. Decide on where is going to be the bottom of your window and add the bottom part. Then there's going to be a wall for sure. So add one that goes to this point and add the wall. So you see that this part also is parallel. So that's our window, and basically if you look at the shadow, it's going to be over here, and the shadow of the house is going to be just somewhere on the side. So that's how we do that. And let's imagine there is one window on this side. Again, you send all of this into this dot, one more, and there's another one going in here. There's the wall and the top of your wall. Here we go, and there's going to be just like the darkest part over here, because that's inside the house. So this is how the perspective works for our 1-point perspective, and this one is 2-point perspective. Now imagine you have a street over here, so there's going to be a sidewalk going like this. There's going to be one part like this, and there's going to be the road. So it will go again from this side, and this one will go from this side. And there's going to be like a sidewalk on this one, sidewalk on this one, and there may be houses theoretically also, but that's the topic for another lesson, absolutely. And they will go like this point, you know, and those here will go to this point. So that's how it works. We're not gonna go over those houses because this is overcomplicated. What you have to understand on this point, at this point, is how we form 1-point perspective, and 2-point perspective. And I hope that from this tutorial you have learned that. This assignment is compulsory and you have to complete it, so please make sure that you send it to me, and I'm always ready to give you any feedback on any of what you're doing. Next time we're gonna create one more landscape, and I can't wait to see you on the next lesson. Also, I will send materials in our Facebook group, so please go over those materials and try to study the perspective this week. I know it might be boring, but it's going to be really interesting when you do that, because you will not make mistakes in the perspective. Now, one more thing is with Cylinder. So if you missed that part, just go to our previous lesson and try to work on the Cylinder. That's going to be like in one of our first lessons. And I want to show you how one of my artworks looks like. That's the still life I did last year. And here you see that the perspective, how it changes. So there's one line, another line, there's one more line, and they all go into 1 point somewhere over on this side. And then there's this vase which has circles. So there's one circle here, one more open, and one very open. The reason why it happens is because same thing as a cylinder. This opens more than this and then this. So I hope that also you can see this side of the table which goes into 1 point. Everything is in the perspective, and the further it is, the more narrow it becomes. And I hope that you are able to understand it. So this part you have to complete with those streets, something that we've done today. And then we will do something like this with our perspective. Also in architecture, you see that this is not really open, this is open more, and this is very open, and that's almost a circle. So with architecture, it works in the same way. And it's really, really important to realize that perspective is everywhere, and unless you study that, it's going to be quite difficult for you to go further with fine arts. So I want to say thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I will record the next lesson after we complete this one. And as always, let me know if you have any questions so that we can schedule an individual appointment or something like that. And for sure, some of you have already sent me your artworks, and I love looking at them. So please send me and receive your feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys this week or next week once we finish this assignment. Good day.